everybody, it's Kimberly here. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you everyone. New subscribers too. Got off work early today. We didn't quite have enough work. And the weather here is back to normal. It's 71 degrees and it's only almost 2 o'clock. It's going to be a little bit hotter. Yeah, this is the kind of weather we have in wintertime. It'll be cold, and I think tomorrow the temperature is going to drop into the 40s. So this is the yo-yo kind of weather that we have. It'll be hot one day, cold for one day, and then hot for a couple of days, get a cold spell for 2 or 3 days. That's our normal weather in wintertime. And the wind is blowing really bad. I don't know if y'all can hear it through the car, and the dust is starting to pick up. But I'm trying to see if I can make this video without the dust and the wind getting too loud. And I can feel it like kind of hitting the car, and that's pretty average for weather here. And the bad weather that we had recently, it's really sad that there was a lot of people here in Texas that they passed away. I've gotten different numbers between around 65 to possibly 70 deaths from hypothermia. And that's the reality of this kind of weather when it hits an area like this that isn't used to this kind of weather. We just aren't prepared for it, and it's such an extreme that a lot of people died in their homes and in their cars trying to keep warm. And I remember years ago in the city I lived in, the gas company, we had a cold spill. The gas company cut the gas off from an older couple that didn't pay their bill. And it was not like an extreme weather event. It was like in the low 30s. I think it was like 30 or 31 degrees, just barely below freezing. An elderly couple froze to death. That's how bad hypothermia can affect the body. And that's it was so sad. It was so awful, you know. And the kids, they drove over there the next morning and they found out that their gas had been cut off, and the elderly couple didn't call their kids, so they didn't know. And the kids went over there to check on them the next morning, and you know, it just was so unfortunate. It was so sad, you know. And this is what happened to a lot of other people. You know, they were succumbed to the hypothermia, which is, you know, your normal body temperature is like 98.6. But hypothermia can set in at 95 degrees, and that's when your body starts to lose more heat than it can produce. And it starts to shut down your functionality of your body. Like your brain won't process the way it normally does, and you may fall asleep and you just, you know, succumb to it. And that's what a lot of people, it happened to, you know, dozens of people here in Texas. That's how severe it was here. And this does not happen normally in our winters. We may have a few people who are unfortunate that may be out in the weather overnight, maybe some homeless people, some people trying to live in their cars. That does happen occasionally here in the wintertime if we have a hard freeze. But this is an event that, you know, was totally, you know, out of the range of Texas's normal weather. And dozens of people died from it. It's really sad. And there are some people that really helped out in this event, in this weather event, HEB. There were people shopping at an HEB that the utilities cut off, the electric cut off. And usually when that happens, they tell you to exit the store immediately for safety purposes. And they can't check you out, and they tell you, you know, you have to leave, you know, and you leave your groceries or whatever behind. And then they throw the stuff in the dumpster the next day. But this HEB, when it happened, they told people to just take their baskets, take whatever they have in their baskets, take it home, and they didn't have to pay for it. They gave them the free food, free items. And that was really great that they helped out that way. And there's a guy known as Mattress Mack, and he did the same thing. He opened his store up to people who were in need of a place to stay, and he did that during the floods too. And he probably saved people's lives by doing that. So that was really great of him. And I'm sorry, this weather, the dust, I have a dust allergy, so it's really kind of affecting me. And my nose is, this happened the other day. My nose was stopped up and I'm going through it again. And so I'm kind of mouth breathing right now. My voice may sound kind of funny, but these people, they really helped out a lot. But Ted Cruz, shame on him. He packed up and left, and he went to Mexico, to the warm weather in Mexico, Cancun, which he said he did it because his girls wanted to go, which, I mean, I can kind of understand wanting to get your kids out of a bad situation and make sure they're safe. You know, kind of torn between that, because I know, trying to be a responsible parent, who wouldn't want to take their kids and do something safe? But he is a public figure, and he kind of abandoned his state at that time, you know, so it's kind of a double-edged sword type of deal. You know, he wanted to make sure his kids were safe, but yet he blamed it on his kids in a way, instead of saying, I made the decision to take my kids out of here, you know. Instead of having some kind of backbone and saying it in that manner, he said, well, my daughters said, why don't we just take a trip, you know? So I don't know, that was kind of lame the way he did it. And there are people that own businesses that in this disaster raised their prices and overcharged people, double charged people, and were jacking up the price of water or, you know, food. Restaurants were charging double because I don't know why, because they could or whatever. But that's despicable, you know. People who do that, that's not the Texas way. That ain't the way we do it here. And, you know, shame on them for doing that. And that is not a practice. It's actually illegal. They cannot do that. And there's the representative from Texas.
New York.
A.O.C is her, they call her either her initials or nickname or whatever. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. It is a long name, but I try to say it by her name. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. She raised about $5 million to help with the disaster in Texas. And that was really an amazing thing that she did. And I think a lot of people were criticizing her for it, but, you know, she did it from the heart. And she did, you know, what a lot of other people didn't do or didn't think of doing or couldn't do. And I'm not going to criticize somebody for doing that, and because this was an extreme event, and she did what I think she's really a person who really represents the people, a politician who really represents the people, and I think that will help out so much. And the damages here, I think I had reported something like 50 million, a figure, I think it was yesterday in one of my videos, an estimated damage amount, but now seeing the actual assessment up to this point was around anywhere between 18 and like 20 something million dollars so far. But that's probably going to double as more people put in claims, and more businesses, you know, may have to completely demolish buildings, and it just depends on what the damages are. I'm sure that total will go up way much more, because it's only been, you know, this is the first few the first few days after this event, and so that is going to go up. And there's people that I'm sure they're going to have problems with insurance, and just even if they do have insurance, it may take a long time to get it settled. Or if they don't have insurance, the cost of rebuilding or trying to fix some people may abandon their houses. they may have to move into an apartment or shelters or something like that. So those, even if they may have insurance, it may not be enough. They may have to pay a huge amount. So a lot of people may end up homeless just through this event, or having to seek, temporary shelter until their homes are rebuilt. Or there's a lot of caved-in roofs, and when water damage hits the floor of something, that's a massive amount of damage. I mean, it can be tens of thousands of dollars, just to fix the flooring in your house when it gets flooded. So that can, completely total out the cost of your house sometimes, especially if it's an older house, like some of these houses that are 50, 60, 70 years old, getting hit with a flood. It may not be worth it. They may just rebuild, and that takes time too. And the cleanup, also the amount of waste and garbage from the cleanup from these buildings, that adds into the cost of carrying away and trying to dispose of it too, especially if it's an older building with asbestos or something like that. That cleanup is a cost also. Okay, I'm about to suffocate here, so I'm gonna have to sign off. But thank you all for coming to my channel, and thank you all for supporting or thinking of us here in Texas. And I just hope things get better for people, and I hope this never happens again. Oh, please don't happen again. But thank you all. Thank you so much.